Hello, thanks for watching. This is First Aide with the FC called The Greater Good, commonly known as GG. This has really been tough. I would say, it's probably the biggest DPS check that we've encountered so far. I mean, the patch came out and I was going Astrologian for the longest time. It's not that Astrologian can't DPS, it's not that it's a bad healer, but from my experience playing it for the 2 days the patch actually came out, I have found that it's not raid ready. At least for me. I could be a bad kid. I do want to main it, but Scholar just had so many tools to our disposal that when we switched, it just seemed like a big relief, like when I switched to Scholar. We normally on boss would barely beat him. You know, one person would be alive after after we killed him, or we'd wipe at 1%, and it was so frustrating when I was Astrologian. I switched to Scholar. First time we switched, we were kind of theory crafting, seeing, well, what's the deal? Why can't we beat this? Our DPS is this and that. In reality, it was that extra time the White Mage can actually DPS. Now, in this part, the White Mage is DPSing for the first about minute. Hopefully, Nova does watch this, so he can comment in the comment section and kind of give his perspective, because this is, with any fight that's endgame, the communication between healers is important. So we had voice comm on, we were talking through it the entire time. He asked when he should jump in, and it worked out. Even with me as Scholar, 9 times out of 10 the tank would die at the very end. Enrage happens, and when it happens, it gets 16 stacks, and the cleave hit will kill anybody in its sight one shot, no matter what. Even if you pop immunities, I found. It's interesting too, because in this time, they don't die. It was very interesting, very interesting. Those Draconian potions, that's what I would say. Get Draconian potions if you're really close to beating it. Like, if you're about, like, 14% wipe or something, I would say those potions would push you. Now, you'll see as you're watching, it will die, but coming up the fight, we did wipe a couple times. I'm just going to skip to our clears so you don't have to watch the boring, it's not my stream, it's just a clear video, it's nothing important like that. The interesting thing is we do the DPS a little differently. We keep all the DPS on the first oppressor when they do split. It was a strategy that we kind of discussed at the beginning as being something that would work, and usually also at this part, just sorry to digress, but usually we'll have LB after we kill Faust, so it's very important to give it your all on Faust at the start. We do wait for all our cooldowns to come up, all pots are ready, battle voice, raging strikes, all those heavy cooldowns we wait for. Prepping in this fight, I actually will DPS this part until they split. So anybody that is running Scholar White Mage combo, we found that Scholar, pulls around the 700 before they split. You want to be, thanks to Jackoson from Hot for this, you want to be at about 60% when they do split, because what happens is the other ad will take on this damage that's left on the first, or the other boss should take the damage that's on the first one. So that's the different strategy that I've seen that I haven't seen online so far. And it could be out there. Like I said, I'm busy, I don't have time to scour for clear videos, but we keep all DPS on the boss at split. I DPS until they split, and the White Mage covers it. At this part, I keep Celine out as a scholar. You'll see I've just burned through the stacks, really. I even Dissipation, or Eat My Pet, to gain stacks again at the end there to keep on hitting them, basically. You want to get them as low as possible, so. So the first phase is kind of the same. AoEs go out, laser right after. You know, the ads will come, kill them as fast as possible. You don't want to waste time on them, but it's not that big a deal because there's no lasers to put the ads on. Some of the key differences we've seen from Alex Normal to Alex Savage is that, of course, the damage and everything. No bones about that, but the praise hit really hard. So as you see, we get it to about 59% before that split happens. And the key too is you do want to stance occasionally when you can. Anyways, so when it jumps, when the two jump, you only really get those 3 jumps and then enrage. So that being said, he's gonna pop the resins. You'll see as resins come, there's going to be gunk on the ground. So you want to spread it a little bit, make sure it's not on a laser or near a laser to where a DPS can drag it and kill it. Now, some DPS say the check is for the ad. You want to kill them before the resin pops. We found that to work, but not work at the same time. You don't want to risk getting hit by that resin, because 9 times out of 10 you'll die. So the missiles will come and drop. There is a tank buster that does happen. I don't really remember the name of it. Sorry if someone that's watching wants to comment on what the tank buster is called. It will hit before the last laser, I believe, and before he jumps. So you want to make sure he's shielded, at least some virus or something, or at least your tank's being some sort of bit build a little bit, you know. I believe our warrior is full strength at this point. Our tank at our Dark Knight at the time does, I believe, full vit at the beginning with no grit. That's what they did at the very beginning to push a DPS. So see, as you can see, emergency tactics with Eye for an Eye and an Adloquium. Astrology doesn't have that. It doesn't have mitigation. And it's really half-assed at this point. I just want Square Enix to know it's a great concept, but at least if it's gonna mitigate, have it mitigate a little as good or as Scholar. I mean, those cards are good, but you're missing a pet to actually heal, you're missing this and that, and I'm not gonna go on a rant about it. It's just, I really loved playing it. I kind of wish I did play it more, but Scholar's the way to go right now. Scholar White Mage combo for Savage. So that oppressor gets down pretty low. How we handle prey is kind of like T10, by the way. Is you get yourself, if you're a healer, you get your tank, because your tanks can get it, and it's hell. You know, they're taking damage on top of. They're taking damage on top of getting that 2k hit every second. So it's another thing to keep your mind on. So as you see, we do have all the DPS still on the boss, the oppressor, and we do split them when it gets low enough. See, they're splitting now. We take all the DPS off of it. It's really low before this jump here. I take Jet Exhaust like a fucking scrub. Sorry, excuse my language. But this is jump 2. So DPS is really fast. Or fast enough for a clear, I should say. I mean, it'll change once item level gets higher. That's kind of how they designed it, but it's very interesting how those draconian pots work. I mean, 105 in your main stat for those 15 seconds. I mean, can't really beat that. So here we go. Lasers, AoEs come out right when lasers come. So if you're a healer and you're kind of, when do that AoE come? When does that AoE come? Words OP. When do those AoEs come? Is right when you see the blue lines from the lasers. That's when. You also want to spread. After that dissipation at the beginning, by the way, I do bring EOS back out. Because there's a lot going on. Mechanics aren't hard as well, by the way. It's just learning what's happening when during each phase. We do burn LB3, as you can see. We don't save it because we will more than likely have LB1 up at the time, near the right time. So during those lasers too is a good time to throw a dot or two up. In cleric stance, of course. As you can see, we're at 3% on Oppressor. 0.5 is low as well. And this is it. Basically, as you're watching, we're talking about what side we're going to go from into starting off. Because as you see, they're kind of planting. Now, that's what's crazy. Adloquium critting, eye for an eye, emergency tactics, barely any damage at all. That's... no words can describe this. No words can describe. So now we're pushing DPS. At this part, ignore the ads. Just DPS the boss. Let a healer take one, because being mini for a healer doesn't stop the heals. Let a tank take one. I mean, it's risky for the tank to take one. But as you can see, I can't even reach him anymore. So this was the pro strategy that we had, is tank die. I mean, look, he did get Benny. And this is what's crazy. It's just really, it's a really great fight. I appreciate you guys for watching. We do get LB1, as you can see, right when it comes up, we use it. Thanks for your support. Thank you, Hot, and congratulations on server first for Alexander Savage who won. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. A special shout out goes out to my FC and also my static members, Davik, Alvina, Nova, Yuki, Navron,